I met Kevin online on a social media page. It was a type of page where politics play a huge role in our opinions. Kevin was a military man. At least his profile picture was of a man in uniform. He sent me a message and said he found my comment smart and cute. I was making comments on a political administration page. He said he was deployed to Yemen for peacekeeping mission and wanting to know more people online, as it was hard being deployed as he had no family. He said he was 24 and his parents were killed in a plane crash when he was 18, so he joined the military. He said he's been deployed here for a year and hoped to go home soon, but he has no one. I'm 59 years old and I've been divorced for over 10 years. This young man could be my son, and at first I chatted with him with an understanding ear and some sympathy, as I feel for our troops and I support them fully. He told me he was single and he couldn't find a girlfriend as they all cheat. I told him, well, not all women cheat, and he would find somebody. He sent me several pictures of himself, with and without a shirt on. He was certainly handsome and fit, like you'd expect a typical 24-year-old military man to look like. He asked if we could exchange phone numbers, as he wasn't always on social media. I was hesitant, but part of me found him very attractive, and he was easy to chat to. There was no expectation other than I wanted to be a caring friend. We started to text back and forth quite a bit via SMS. He then asked me if I had WhatsApp, as it was easier for him to connect that way rather than send SMS, which cost him money to send the text as he's deployed overseas. I downloaded WhatsApp for him and we connected with this friendship. He told me he was born and raised in Texas and his phone number was from Texas. But his parents were originally from Spain, and he would spend his summers as a child in Spain. He voice chatted me a few times and he had a slight accent. To me it sounded Spanish, but I later found out that it wasn't. We started this friendship innocently enough, but he was quite flirty with me, and I found it a bit thrilling to flirt with this muscular man, a young buck as we call him. We started getting a little romantic and flirty, but nothing crazy, just flirty chat. After all, I was decades older, but he said he liked older women as they know what they want out of life. I worked full-time, so we would often chat late at night. It was daytime in Yemen when it was nighttime here. He would chat between his missions and duties. When I asked him about sending him a care package, he said to wait as he was being deployed to somewhere in West Africa soon. He said a group was chosen to go there for a security secret mission. He said he would be spending 4 months in Nigeria to secure oil pipelines for the U.S. government where there had been unrest. It was a pipeline the U.S. government had put in, and it was under attack. He would be there helping the United Nations and the oil company with security detail. There would be 50 troops there. He explained the entire mission, or at least where it was and kind of what he would be doing. It sounded dangerous, but he signed up for this, and as he would say, it's his job. He was deploying to Nigeria in a few days, and he had a few days off to spend more time with me. He would tell me that age is nothing but a number, and he asked me for some provocative pictures and some video, as he said he would be deployed to Nigeria and didn't know how often we could talk and how dangerous it's going to be, and he said the network, he was told, is very unstable there. He sent me a few pictures of himself, which I later found out were stolen from a military-themed adult website. I ended up sending him 5 photos of myself and some videos that were adult in nature. But I felt so frisky and fun with him. Here was this 24-year-old strong, perfect body, and the adult photos he sent me who he said were him were absolutely amazing. I would love to meet him in person if you catch my drift. And I admit I became obsessed with him and I fantasized about him all the time. He thanked me for the photos and videos and hoped that we could meet after his deployment, as he would be returning to the States. I live in Alabama, and I was nervous about ever meeting him. Flirting online is one thing, but meeting me in person and our age difference was another. But I still kept an open mind about this fantasy. He arrived safely in Nigeria, and he said he would be near Lagos. He said the network was very bad, and it was very crime-ridden. He actually talked badly about the locals, to which I told him, "The military is your job. You'll get through it no matter how hard it is." We continued chatting and flirting. He kept asking me for more photos and video of myself, and I would send them. But I also sent photos of my home, my dogs, my car, and really everything that had to do with my life. I then stopped hearing from him for about a week. I was really worried, and I didn't know if something had happened. He then came back to WhatsApp after ignoring or not reading my messages. He said there was an ambush and that other soldiers had escaped, but some had been hurt. He was able to escape, but he said that this event changed his life and made him realize how much he cares for me, and he asked if he can come and visit me. He was ready to leave. He said he could apply for an emergency leave if I was able to tell his commander that I'm his wife and that I was unwell. He would be granted a 2-week leave and possibly not have to come back. He asked for my email address, and I ended up getting an email from his commander. It was a form for an emergency leave, and I had to send it back. I filled it out, and I also had to include a picture of my driver's license and include that to tell the commander I was gravely ill and I needed my husband home. A few hours later, I received an email from the commander of the Army, and he said the leave would be granted provided I can pay for the soldier's replacement, which would be $1,500, payable by a bank transfer, which would cost an additional $500 maintenance fee, or pay $1,500 payable in a donation to our troops in the form of iTunes gift cards, to which the cards are given to troops in need to contact their family. I opted for the gift cards and was given instructions on where to obtain the cards and how to send them via email to the email provided. I bought the cards and did as the instructions told me. The commander replied letting me know that they were accepted and they would be sending him home within 3 days to the nearest airport to my house. Kevin thanked me and said that they were sending him out on a final security detail before he was set to leave. He again asked me for some more adult photos to keep him company while he was in the field. I obliged and I sent a bunch of photos that he asked for. I don't know really what possessed me to send some of those pictures as they were quite offensive, but I wanted to make him happy. His flight information was emailed to me by the commander, and I had planned to pick him up at the airport when he arrived. But then I stopped hearing from him. I messaged and called, and I emailed his commander to inquire. The only reply I received was that from the so-called Army commander, who said he knew the kind of photos and videos I was sending to his soldiers, and he captured them all, and if I didn't pay $10,000 via bank transfer to an account in Lagos within 24 hours, he would send the videos and photos to all of my friends on social media, my church members, which Kevin knew as I gave him the website to my church that I was very active in when we first started talking. I was absolutely sick. I told this person he was a liar, and then I sent Kevin a message on WhatsApp and told him about the email. I took photos of the email and sent it to Kevin as well, but I got no reply. I called this person's bluff and told him, "There's no photos or videos, you're lying." He then emailed me all of my photos and video attachments and promised he would show everyone. Kevin's profile also vanished from social media. Well, I marked the email as spam and told the person that I would not pay a single penny. I never heard anything back from them, and no one from my church or family or friends has said anything to me about receiving photos or video of me. But in the back of my mind, I always think they know. They must have seen them. I find myself going to church less and less and participating in church events less because some weird feeling inside of me tells me they know. I never heard from Kevin or the commander again. I filed a fraud alert with the FBI but was only given a case number and that they would be in touch if they need me. And since this happened, I closed my profile online because I was flooded with messages and friend requests. I found out the so-called photos of Kevin were used and stolen off a real soldier named Josh. I'm embarrassed I let my sinful thoughts cause me to get scammed. And we'd like to thank this lady for sharing her story. Oftentimes people get caught up in an online flirting situation and they send photos and videos that they normally would never send to anyone. Always second guess yourself, always stop yourself and think before you send these type of photos and videos. A real person who's genuine and wants to be in a relationship with you will not demand that you send these photos and videos. Keep yourself safe. If you'd like to share your story, whether you were scammed and lost money or you just encountered a scammer, you can find us via email, scammingscammers@gmail.com. Tell us your story, upload any screenshots, photos, anything you have. We can verify your story and we will narrate it into a future video. Until then, stay safe.